Hello, my name is Guy Roberts. I am the artistic director of the Prague Shakespeare Company. Based out of Prague, Czech Republic, for the last 12 years, our dedicated multinational ensemble of diverse theater artists have entertained, enlightened, educated, and inspired audiences across the world with performances that are fresh, bold, imaginative, thought-provoking, and eminently accessible, connecting the truths of the past with the challenges and possibilities of today. As a result of the current pandemic, Prague Shakespeare Company has been forced to cancel all public activities, all performances, and all training activities. And consequently, our organization and our artists have suffered catastrophic artistic and financial loss. We've had to cancel over 12 productions, including performances at some of Europe's most historic venues, such as Prague Castle and the Czech National Theatre's Estates Theatre, where Mozart premiered Don Giovanni in 1787. These cancellations have resulted in a financial loss of over $450,000 for the PSC team and the students who experience our world-class training opportunities through our Summer Shakespeare Intensive. This has had a devastating personal, artistic, and financial effect. However, despite this, inspiring and talented artists in our artistic company have banded together to create something truly special to thank you and entertain you for your continued support. The Tempest for Our Time from Globetrotting Shakespeare. Your charitable contributions and tax-deductible gifts are essential now to helping us get through these dark days. Please give serious consideration to helping us reach our short-term goal of $35,000. You can make your donation through PayPal or on the links on our website, www.pragueshakespeare.com. Thank you for supporting Prague Shakespeare Company and our efforts to change the world one life at a time through the works of William Shakespeare. We hope you stay safe and healthy, and we will look forward to seeing you at a theater again sometime soon. Until then, enjoy Globetrotting Shakespeare's The Tempest for Our Times in support of Prague Shakespeare Company, our Summer Shakespeare Intensive, and the PSC tradition of entertaining, enlightening, inspiring, and educating audiences all over the world.
Bosun!
Here, master, what cheer?
Good. Speak to the mariners. Fall to it, Yarley, or we run ourselves aground. Bestir! Bestir!
Yar, my hearts! Cheerily, cheerily, my hearts! Yar, yar, taking the topsail! Come to the master's whistle! Blow till thou burst thy wind, if room enough!
But bosun, have care, where's the master?
I pray now, keep below.
Where is the master, bosun?
You mar our labor, keep your habits. You do assist the storm.
Good, be patient.
When the sea is hence, what care these rounds for the name of king? The captain's silence, trouble us not.
The good, yet remember whom thou hast aboard.
None that I'm more loved than myself. You are a counselor. If you can command these elements to silence and work the peace of the present, we will not hand our lord use your authority. If you cannot, give thanks you lived so long, and make yourself ready in your cabin for the mischance of the hour, if it so hap. Cheerily, good hearts, out of our way, I say.
I have great comfort from this fellow. Methinks he hath no drowning mark upon him. His complexion is perfect gallows. stand fast, good faith, to his hanging. If he be not born to be hanged, our case is miserable.
Down with the topmast yard, lower, lower!
Bosun!
Plague above this howling. Yet again, what do you here? Shall we go or drown? Have you a mind to sink?
Cocks on your throat, you bawling, blasphemous, incharitable dog!
Where'd you then?
Anchor! Hang!
Warrant him for drowning! He'd be hanged yet, though every drop of water swear against it. Almost! Almost! Oh, the king and prince in prayers! Let's assist them, for our case is as theirs.
I am out of patience.
They are merely cheated of our lives by drunkards.
Mercy on us!
We split!
Farewell, my wife and children.
Farewell, brother! We split! We split!
Let us all sink with the king!
Let's take leave of him.
Now would I give 1,000 furlongs of sea for an eighth of that ground. The wills above be done!
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them. The sky, it seems, would pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel who had no doubt some noble creature in her, dashed all to pieces. Poor souls, they perished.
Tell thy piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, woe the day.
I have done nothing but in care of thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero thy father. 'Tis time I should inform thee farther. Have comfort. The direful spectacle of the wreck I have with such provision in mine art, so safely ordered, that there is no soul which thou saw'st sink. Sit down, for thou must now know farther.
You have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped and left me to a bootless inquisition, concluding, stay, not yet.
The hour is now come. Canst thou remember a time before we came unto this isle? For then thou wast not but 3 years old.
Certainly, sir, I can. 'Tis far off, and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me?
Thou hadst, and more, Miranda. 12 years since, thy father was Duke of Milan and a prince of power.
Sir, are not you my father?
Thy mother was a piece of virtue, and she said thou wast my daughter. And thy father was Duke of Milan. And thou, his only heir.
Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we that we came from thence? Or blessed west we did?
Both, my girl, thy foul play, as thou sayest, were we heaved thence, but blessedly help hither.
Oh, my heart bleeds to think of the teen that I have turned you to, which is from my remembrance. Please you farther.
My sister and thy aunt, called Antonia, I pray thee, mark me. She whom next unto thyself of all the world I loved, and to her put the manage of my state, for at that time the liberal arts were all my study. Thus I to my state grew stranger, being wrapped in secret study. Thy false Aunt, dost thou attend me?
Sir, most heedfully.
Thy false aunt set all the hearts in the state to what tune pleased her ear. She did believe she was indeed the Duke. Me, poor man, my library was dukedom large enough. Dost thou hear?
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness.
The King of Naples, being an enemy to me, inveterate, hearkens my sister's suit, which was that he should presently extirpate me and mine out of the dukedom and confer fair Milan with all honors on my sister, whereon one midnight a treacherous army levied, didst Antonia open the gates of Milan, and in the dead of darkness hurry thence me and thy crying self.
Alack for pity! I, not remembering how I cried out then, will cry it o'er again.
In few, they hurried us aboard a rotten carcass of a boat, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast. The very rats instinctively did quit it. There they hoist us to cry to the sea that roared to us.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine. Some food we had, and some fresh water that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity did give us, with linens, stuffs, and necessaries, and knowing I love my books, he furnished me with certain volumes that I prize above my dukedom.
Would I might but ever see that man! And now, I pray you, sir, for still 'tis beating in my mind, your reason for raising this sea storm.
By accident most strange, bountiful fortune hath mine enemies brought unto this shore. A most auspicious star, whose influence, if now I court not, but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. Here, cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep, then give it way. Well, now, come, my servant. I am ready now. Approach, my Ariel, come!
Hail, great master.
Brave sir, hail. We come to answer to thy best pleasure.
Be it to fly,
To swim,
to dive into the fire,
To ride on the curled clouds, to thy strong bidding task, Ariel and all her quality.
Hast thou, spirit, perform to the point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article.
we boarded the king's ship, now on the beak,
Now in the waist.
The deck.
every cabin.
I flamed amazement. Sometime I'll divide and burn in many places. On the topmast, the yards and bowsprit would I flame distinctly, then meet and join. Jove's lightnings, the precursors of the dreadful thunderclaps, more momentary and sight outrunning were not. The fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble. Yea, his dread trident shake.
My brave spirit, who was so firm, so constant that this coil could not infect his reason.
Not a soul, but felt a fever of the mad and played, some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged into the foaming brine and quit the vessel.
Then all afire with me.
The king's son Ferdinand, with hair upstaring, then like reeds, not hair, was the first man that leaped, cried, hell is empty and all the devils are here.
Well, that's my spirit. But was not this nigh shore?
Close by, my master.
But are they, Ariel, safe?
not a soul perished.
Safely in harbor is the king's ship. In the deep nook, there she's hid.
The mariners all under hatches stowed, who, with a charm joined to their suffered labor, we have left asleep, and for the rest of the fleet,
which I dispersed,
They have all met again, and are upon the Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples.
Supposing that they saw the king shipwrecked and his great person perish.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed, but there's more work.
Is there more toil?
Since thou dost give us pains, let us remember thee what thou hast promised.
Which is not yet performed us.
How now, Moody? What is it thou canst demand?
Our liberty.
Liberty?
Before the time be out, no more.
I prithee.
I prithee.
Prithee.
I prithee.
Remember we have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made thee no mistakings, served without or grudge or grumblings. Thou didst promise to bait us a full year.
Dost thou forget from what a torment I did free thee?
Do not, sir.
Do not,
Hast
sir.
thou forgot the foul witch Sycorax?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Thou hadst. This blue-eyed hag was hither brought with child. Thou wast then her servant, and for thou wast too delicate to act her earthy and abhorred commands, she did confine thee in a cloven pine, within which rift thou didst painfully remain 12 years, within which time she died and left thee there. Then was this island not honored with a human shape, save for the sun that she did litter here.
Yes, Caliban, her son.
Now I keep in service, thou best knowest, from what torment I did free thee. It was mine art, when I approached and heard thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out.
We thank thee, master.
We thank thee, master.
If thou neglect'st what I command, I will rend an oak and peg thee in his knotty entrails.
Pardon, master!
We will be correspondent to command and do our spiriting gently.
Do so. And after 2 days, I will discharge thee.
That's our noble master.
What shall we do?
Say what? What shall we do?
Go, make thyself like a nymph of the sea, invisible. Bring the Lord here. Go, hence, with diligence. Awake, dear heart. Awake, thou hast slept well. Awake!
The strangeness of your story put heaviness in me.
Shake it off. Come on, we'll visit Caliban.
Oh, 'tis a villain, sir, I do not love to look on.
But as 'tis, he does make our fire, fetch in our wood, and serves in offices that profit us. What ho! Knave! Caliban, come forth, I say!
As wicked do as ere my mother brushed with raven feather on unwholesome fen, drop on you both! Southwest blow on ye, and blister you all over!
For this, be sure, tonight thou shalt have cramps as thick as honeycomb.
This island's mine! By Sycorax, my mother, which thou takest from me. When thou camest first, thou strokest me and madest much of me, would give me water with berries in it, and teach me how to name the bigger light, and the less that shines by day and night. And then I loved thee, and showed thee all the qualities of the isle, the fresh springs and brine pits, barren places and fertile. Cursed be I that did so. All the charms of Sycorax, birds, beetles, bats, light on you!
I have used thee, filth as thou art, with human care, and lodged thee in mine own cell, till thou didst seek to violate the honor of my child.
Oh ho, wouldst had been done. Thou didst prevent me. I'd have peopled else this isle with Caliban.
Abhorrent slave! which any print of goodness wilt not take, being capable of all ill. I pitied thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each hour one thing or other, when thou didst not, savage, know thine own meaning, but wouldst gabble like a thing most brutish. I endowed thy purposes with words that made them known.
You taught me language, and my profit on it is I know how to curse. The red plague rid you for teaching me your language.
Hagseed, hence! Fetch us in fuel and be quick. Shrugg'st thou, malice? If thou neglect'st what I command, I will rack thee with old cramps.
No, I prithee.
So, knave, hence!
I must obey. His art is of such power that it would control my damned god Setebos and make a vassal of him.
Come unto these yellow sands, and then take hands, curtsied when you have, and kissed the wild waves wished, footed featly here and there, and sweet sprites the burthen bear. Hark, hark, the watchdogs bark. Bow wow, hark, hark, I hear the strain of strutting chanticleer. Cry cock-a-diddle-dow.
Where should this music be? In the air or the earth? This music crept by me upon the waters, allaying both their fury and my passion with its sweet air. Thence I have followed it, or it hath drawn me rather. But 'tis gone now. No, it begins again.
Oh, fathom 5 thy father lies, of his bones are coral made. Those are pearls that were his eyes, nothing of him that doth fade, but to suffer a sea change into something rich and strange. See nymphs hourly ring his knell, ding dong. Hark now, I hear them, ding dong bell.
The ditty does remember my drowned father. This is no mortal business, nor no sound that the earth owes. I hear it now above me.
What is't? A spirit?
No, wench, it eats and sleeps and hath such senses as we have such. This gallant which thou seest was in the wreck, and he hath lost his fellows and strays about to find him.
I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
It goes on, I see, as my soul prompts it.
Most sure the goddess on whom these airs attend. My prime request, which I do last pronounce, is if you be maid or no.
No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid.
My language, heavens! I am the best of them that speaks this speech, were I but where 'tis spoken.
How the best? What wert thou if the King of Naples heard thee?
The single thing is I am now to hear thee speak of Naples. He does hear me, and that he does, I weep. Myself am Naples, who with mine eyes never since at ebb beheld the king, my father wrecked.
Alack for mercy!
Yes, faith, and all his lord.
At the first sight they have changed eyes. Delicate Ariel, I'll set thee free for this. A word. Good sir, I fear you've done yourself some wrong. A word?
Why speaks my father so ungently? This is the third man that e'er I saw, the first that e'er I sighed for. Pity move my father to be inclined my way.
No, if a virgin and your affection not gone forth, I'll make her the queen of Naples.
Soft, sir, one word more. They are both in either's powers, but this swift business I must uneasy make, lest the too light winning make the prize light. One word more. I charge thee, thou hast put thyself upon this island as a spy to win it from me, the lord on it.
No, as I am a man.
There's nothing ill can dwell in such a temple. If the ill spirit have so fair a house, good things will strive to dwell with it.
Follow me. Speak not you for him. He is a traitor. Come, I'll manacle thy neck and feet together.
No, I will resist such entertainment till mine enemy has more power.
Oh, dear father, make not too rash a trial of him, for he's gentle and not fearful.
Hence, hang not on my garments.
Sir, have pity. I'll be his surety.
Thou think'st there be no more such men as he, having seen but him and Caliban, foolish wench to the most of men. This is a Caliban, and they to him are angels.
My affections are then most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man.
My spirits, as in a dream, are all bound up. My father's loss, the weakness which I feel, the wreck of all my friends, nor this man's threats, to whom I am subdued, are but lights to me. Might I but through my prison once a day behold this maid. All corners else o' the earth let liberty make use of. Space enough have I in such a prison.
It works. Come on, thou hast done well, mine Ariel. Follow me. Hark what thou else shalt do me.
Be of comfort. My father's of a better nature, sir, than he appears by speech. This is unwonted, which now came from him.
Be free as mountain winds, but then exactly perform all points of my command.
To the syllable.
Come, follow. Speak not for him.
Beseech you, sir, be merry, for you have cause, as do we all, for joy, for our escape is much beyond our loss. Our theme of woe is common. Every day, some sailor's wife, the masters of some merchant, or some merchant have just our theme of woe. But for the miracle, I mean our preservation, few in millions can speak like us. Then wisely, good sir, weigh our sorrow with our comfort.
Prithee, peace.
He receives comfort like cold porridge.
The visitor will not give him more so.
Look, he's winding up the watch of his wit. By and by it will strike.
My lady.
One, tell.
When every grief is entertained that's offered, comes to the entertainer.
$1?
$1 comes to him indeed. You have spoken truer than you purposed.
You have taken it wiselier than I meant you should.
Therefore, my lord.
Spendthrift is he of his tongue?
I prithee, spare.
Well, I have done. But yet,
you will be talking.
Though this island seems to be desert, the air breathes upon us most sweetly.
As if it had lungs, and rotten ones.
Or as 'twere perfumed by a fen.
Here is everything advantageous to life.
True, save means to live.
Yeah, of that there's none, or little.
How lush and lusty the grass looks. How green.
The ground indeed is tawny.
With an eye of green end.
He misses not much.
No, he doth but mistake the truth, totally.
But the rarity of it is, which is indeed almost beyond credits,
As many vouched rarities are.
that our garments, being as they were, drenched in the sea, methinks our garments are now as fresh as they were when we first put them on in Africa, at the marriage of the king's fair daughter Claribel to the king of Tunis.
'Twas a sweet marriage, and we prosper well in our return.
Is not, sir, my doublet as fresh as the first day I wore it? I mean, in a sort.
That sort was well fished for.
When I wore it at your daughter's marriage.
Cram these words into mine ears against the stomach of my sense. Would I had never married my daughter there. For coming thence, my son is lost, and in my right she too, who is so far from Italy removed, I ne'er again shall see her. Oh, thou mine heir of Naples and of Milan, what strange fish hath made his meal on thee?
Sir, that he may live. I saw him beat the surges under him and ride upon their backs. He trod the water to the shore, that o'er his wave-worn basis bowed as stooping to relieve him. I've no doubt he came alive to this land.
No, he's gone. Prithee, peace.
We have lost your son. I fear forever. The fault's your own.
My lady Sebastian, the truth you speak doth lack some gentleness in the telling of it. You bring the sore when you should bring the plaster.
Very well.
It is foul weather in us all, my lady, when you are cloudy.
Foul weather.
Ooh, very foul.
These dainties are of such sensible and nimble lungs that they will laugh at nothing.
'Twas you we laughed at.
Who in this merry kind of fooling am nothing to you? So you may continue to laugh at nothing still.
Oh, what a blow was there given. Nay, good my lord, be not angry.
No, I warrant you, I will not adventure my discretion so weakly. Will you laugh me to sleep, for I am very heavy.
What? So soon asleep? I wish mine eyes would with themselves shut up my thoughts. I find it are inclined to do so.
Please you, sir, do not omit the heavy offer of it. It seldom visits sorrow. When it doth, it is a comforter.
We too, my lord, will guard your person while you take your rest and watch your safety.
Thank you. They're wondrous heavy.
What a strange drowsiness possesses them.
It is the quality of the climate.
Why doth it not then our eyelids sink? I find not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I. My spirits are nimble. They fell together all as by consent. They dropped as by a thunderstroke. Oh, what might? Worthy Sebastian! Oh, what might? Oh, no more. And yet, methinks I see it in thy face. What thou shouldst be. The occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head.
What art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do, and surely 'tis a sleepy language, and thou speaks out of thy sleep. What is thou didst say?
Noble Sebastian, thou lettest thy fortune sleep. Die, rather. winkst whilst thou art waking.
Thou dost snore distinctly. There's meaning in thy snores.
I am more serious than my custom. You must be so too, if heed me. Which to do trebles thee o'er.
Well, I am standing water.
I'll teach you how to flow.
Prithee, say on.
Although this lord of weak remembrance, this who shall be of as little memory when he is earthed, hath here almost persuade the king his son's alive, 'tis as impossible that he's undrowned, and he that sleeps here swims.
I have no doubt he's undrowned.
Oh, out of that, no doubt. What great hope have you? Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned?
He's gone.
Then tell me, who's the next heir of Naples?
Claribel.
She that is queen of Tunis. She that dwells 10 leagues beyond man's life.
What stuff is this? 'Tis true, my brother's daughter's queen of Tunis. So is she heir of Naples. Twixt which regions there is some space.
A space whose every cubit seems to cry out, Claribel, keep in Tunis and let Sebastian wake. Say this were death that now hath seized them. Why, they were no worse than now they are. There be that can rule Naples as well as he that sleeps. Lords that can prate as amply and as unnecessarily as this Gonzalo. Oh, that you bore the mind that I do. What a sleep with this for your advancement. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tender your own good fortune?
I remember you did supplant your brother, Prospero.
True. And look how well my garments sit upon me. Much feeter than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows. Now they are my men.
But for your conscience?
Aye, and where lies that? Here lies your brother. No better than the earth he lies upon, if he were that which now he's like. That's dead. Whom I, with this obedient steel, 3 inches of it could lay to bed forever. Whilst you doing thus to the perpetual wink, for I might put this ancient morsel, this Sir Prudence, who should not upbraid our course. For all the rest, they'll take suggestion as a cat laps milk. They'll tell the clock to any business that we say befits the hour.
Thy case, dear friend, shall be my precedent. As thou gotst Milan, I'll come by Naples. Draw thy sword. One stroke shall free thee from the tribute which thou payest, and I, the queen, shall love thee.
Draw together. And when I rear my hand, do you the like to fall it on Gonzalo.
Oh, but one word.
Our master, through his art, foresees the danger that you, his friends, are in, and sends us forth, for else his project dies, to keep them living.
While you here do snoring lie, open-eyed conspiracy, his time doth take, if of life you keep a care. Shake off slumber and beware. Awake, awake.
Then let us both be sudden.
Now, good angels, preserve the king!
Why, how now? Oh, awake! Why are you drawn? Wherefore this ghastly looking?
What's the matter?
Whilst we stood here, securing your repose, even now, we heard a hollow burst of bellowing like bulls, or rather lions. Oh, did it not wake you? It struck mine ear most terribly.
I heard nothing.
'Twas a din to fright a monster's ear, to make an earthquake. Sure it was the roar of a whole herd of lions.
Heard you this, Gonzalo?
Upon mine honor, sir, I heard a humming, and that a strange one too, which did wake me. I shaked you, sir, and cried. As my eyes opened, I saw their weapons drawn. There was a noise, that's verily. 'Tis best we stand our ground, or we quit this place. Let's draw our weapons.
Lead us off this ground, and let's make further search for my poor son.
Heavens keep him from these beasts, for he is sure in the island.
Lead away.
Prospero, my lord, shall know what we have done.
So, king, go safely on to seek thy son.
All the infections that the sun sucks up on Prosper fall, and make him by inch meal a disease. His spirits hear me, and yet I needs must curse. But they'll nor pinch nor lead me like a firebrand in the dark out of my ways, unless he bid 'em. For every trifler they set upon me, the pricks at my footfall. Sometime am I all wound with adders, who with their cloven tongues do hiss me into madness.
Ow, 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 ow.
Oh, now, lo, here comes a spirit of his, and to torment me for bringing wood in slowly. I'll lie flat. Perhaps he will not mind me.
Here's neither bush nor shrub to bear off any weather at all, and another storm brewing. If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. What have we here? A man or a fish? A fish. Oh, you smell like a fish. Oh, a very ancient and fish-like smell. A strange fish. Alas, the storm has come again. My best way is to creep under his gabardine. There is no other shelter hereabouts. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. I will here shroud till the dregs of the storm be past.
Master the swabber, the boatswain and I, the gunner and his mate, loved Moll, Meg, and Marion, and Marjorie. But none of us cared for Kate.
Oh, the spirit torments me. Ow!
Do we have devils here? I have not escaped drowning to be afeard now of your four legs.
The spirit torments me. Ow! Ow!
How the devil did he learn our language? I'll give him some relief if it be but for that. If I can recover him and keep him tame and get to Naples with him, he's a present for any emperor that ever trod on Neath's leather. Come on your ways. Open your mouth. Here is that which will give language to you, cat. Oh, open your mouth. This will shake your shaking. I can tell you, and that soundly. You cannot tell who's your friend. Open your chaps again.
I should know that voice. It should be that he is drowned. And these are the devils. Oh, defend me.
4 legs and 2 voices. A most delicate monster. His forward voice now is to speak well of his friend, but his backward voice is to utter foul speeches and to detract. Come, amen. I'll pour some in your other mouth.
Stefano!
Doth thy other mouth call me? Oh, mercy, mercy, this is a devil and no monster.
Stefano! If thou beest Stefano, touch me and speak to me, for I am Trinculo. Be not afeard, thy good friend, Trinculo.
If thou beest Trinculo, come forth. I'll pull thee by thy lesser legs. If any be Trinculo's legs, these are they. Thou art very Trinculo indeed. How camest thou hither? How didst thou escape? Did Mooncalf vent Trinculos?
I took him to be killed with the thunderstroke. But art thou not drowned, Stefano? Oh, Stefano, to Neapolitan scape.
Oh, do not turn me about. Oh, my stomach is not constant.
Oh.
These be fine things, and if they be not sprites, that's a brave god, and bear celestial liquor. I'll kneel to him.
How didst thou escape?
I swum ashore, man, like a duck. I can swim like a duck, I'll be sworn.
Here, kiss the book. Though thou canst swim like a duck, thou art made like a goose.
Oh, Stefano, hast thou any more of this?
The whole butt, man. How now, Mooncalf? How does thine ague?
Hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Oh, out of the moon, I do assure thee. I was the man in the moon when time was.
I have seen thee in her, and I do adore thee.
Oh, come, swear to that. Kiss the book. I will furnish it anon with new contents. Swear.
I shall laugh myself to death at this puppy-headed monster. I'm a scurvy monster. I confided in my heart to beat him.
Come, kiss.
Oh, but that the poor monsters in drink. An abominable monster.
I'll show thee the best springs. I'll pluck thee berries. I'll fish for thee. I'll bring thee wood enough. A plague upon the tyrant that I serve. I'll bear him no more sticks. But follow thee, thou wondrous man.
Prithee now, lead the way without any more talking. Trinculo, the king and all our company else being drowned, we will inherit here. Here, bear my bottle, fellow Trinculo. We'll fill him up by and by again.
Farewell, master, farewell, farewell.
A howling monster! A drunken monster!
Oh, brave monster, lead the way!
Farewell, master, farewell, farewell. Ban, Calaban, found a new master, get a new man.
This, my mean task, would be as heavy to me as odious, but the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead and makes my labors pleasures. Oh, she's 10 times more gentle than her father's crabbed, and he's composed of harshness. I must remove some thousands of these logs and pile them up upon a sore injunction. My mistress weeps when she sees me work and says, such baseness had never like executor. I forget, but these sweet thoughts do even refresh my labors. Most busy, least when I do it.
Alas, now pray you, work not so hard. I would the lightning had burnt up those logs you are enjoined to pile.
O most dear mistress, the sun will set before I shall discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs the while. Pray, give me that, I'll carry it to the pile.
No, precious creature, I had rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you should such dishonor undergo, while I sit lazy by.
It would become me as well as it does you, and I should do it with much more ease. For my goodwill is to it, and yours it is against.
Poor worm, thou art infected. This visitation shows it.
You look wearily.
No, noble mistress, 'tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you, chiefly that I might set in my prayers. What is your name?
Miranda. Oh, my father, I broke your hest to say so.
Admired Miranda! Indeed, the top of admiration, worth what's dearest to the world. Full many a lady I have eyed with best regard, and many a time the harmony of their tongue hath into bondage brought my too diligent ear. For several of virtues have I liked several women, never any with soulful soul, but some defect in her did quarrel with the noblest grace she owed, and put it to the foil. But you, oh you, so perfect, so peerless, are created of every creature's best.
I do not know one of my sex, no woman's face remember, save from my glass, mine own, nor have I seen more that I may call men than you, good friend, and my dear father. How features are abroad, I am skilless of, but by my modesty, the jewel in my dower, I would not wish any companion in the world but you, nor can imagination form a shape besides yourself to like of. But I prattle something too wildly, and my father's precepts I therein do forget.
I am in my condition a prince, Miranda. I do thing a king, I would not so, and would no more endure this wooden slavery than to suffer the flesh fly blow my mouth. Hear my soul speak. The very instant that I saw you, did my heart fly to your service. There resides to make me slave to it, and for your sake am I this patient logman.
Do you love me?
O heaven, O earth, bear witness to this sound, and crown what I confess with kind event if I speak true. If hollowly invert what best disposeth me to mischief, I, beyond all limit of what else in the world, do love, prize, honor you.
I am a fool to weep at what I am glad of.
Wherefore weep you?
At mine unworthiness, which dare not offer what I desire to give, and much less take what I shall die to want. This is trifling, and all the more it seeks to hide itself, the bigger bulk it shows. Hence, bashful cunning, and prompt me plain and holy innocence. I am your wife, if you will marry me. If not, I'll die your maid. To be your fellow, you may deny me, but I'll be your servant, whether you will or no.
My mistress dearest, and I thus humble ever.
My husband, then?
Aye. The heart as willing as bondage ere freedom. Here's my hand.
And mine, with my heart in. And now, farewell, till half an hour hence.
1,000.
So glad of this day I cannot be. But my rejoicing at nothing can be more. I'll to my books, for yet ere supper time I must perform much business appertaining.
Tell not me. When the bud is out, we'll drink water, and not a drop before. Therefore, bear up in boredom. Servant monster, drink to me.
Servant monster, the folly of this island. They say there's but 5 on this isle. We are but 3. If the others be brain like us, the state totters.
Mooncalf, speak once in thy life if thou beest a good mooncalf.
How does thy honor? Let me lick thy shoe. I'll not serve her. She's not valiant.
Thou liest, most ignorant monster. Why, thou debauched fish thou. Was there ever man a coward that hath drunk as much sack as I today?
No.
Wilt thou tell a monstrous lie, being but half a fish and half a monster?
Lo, now, lo, how she mocks me. Wilt thou let her, my lord?
Oh, Lord, quoth he? That a monster should be such a natural.
Lo, again! Bite her to death, I prithee.
Oh, bite me.
Trinculo! Keep a good tongue in your head. If you prove a mutineer, the next tree. Ah, poor monster's my subject. He shall not suffer indignity.
I thank my noble lord. Wouldst thou be pleased to hearken once again the suit I made to thee?
Oh, Mary, will I? Kneel and repeat it. I will stand, and so shall Trinculo.
As I told thee before, I am subject to a tyrant, a sorcerer, that by his art hath cheated me of the island.
Thou liest.
Thou liest, thou jesting monkey, thou. I do not lie. I say by sorcery he got this island. From me he got it. If your greatness would revenge it on him, thou shalt be lord on it, and I will serve thee. Yea, yea, my noble lord! I'll yield thee him asleep, where thou mayst knock a nail into his head.
Thou liest, thou canst not.
Thou liest, thou jesting monkey, thou! I do beseech thy greatness, give her blows, and take her bottle from her. Ha!
Oh, why? What said I? I did nothing. I'll go farther off.
Didst thou not say he lied?
Thou liest.
Do I so?
Ha.
Mm-hmm.
What? What do you want?
Take thou that. As you like this, give me the lie another time.
I did not lie. Out of your wits and bearing too. A box of your bottle. This can sack and drinking do. And a murrain on your monster. And the devil take your fingers.
Forward with your tale. Prithee, stand farther off.
Well, as I told thee, 'tis a custom with him in the afternoon to sleep. There thou mayest brain him, having first seized his books, or with a log batter his skull, or punch him with a stake, or with thy wizened with thy knife cut his wizened, having first seized his books, for without them he is but a sot like I am, and hath no spirit to command. They all do hate him as rootedly as I do. Burn but his books.
Monster, I will kill this man. His daughter and I will be king and queen. Save our graces. And Trinculo and thyself shall be viceroys. Dost thou like the plot, Trinculo?
Excellent.
Lead, monster, we'll follow.
This will I tell our master.
By Lakin, I can go no further, sir. My old bones ache. Oh, by your patience, I must needs rest me.
Oh Lord, I cannot blame thee. When myself attached with weariness to the dulling of my spirit, sit down and rest. Even here will I put off my hope and keep it no longer from my flatterer. He's drowned, whom thus we stray to find, and the sea mocks our frustrate search on land. Well, let him go.
I am right glad that he's so out of hope. Do not for one repulse forgo the purpose that you resolve to effect.
The next advantage will we take throughly.
Let it be tonight. But now they are oppressed with travel, they will not nor cannot use such vigilance as when they are fresh.
Yeah, I say tonight, no more.
You are three made of sin, whom destiny, that hath to instrument this lower world and what is in't, the never surfeited sea hath caused to belch up you.
And on this island where man doth not inhabit, you, mongst men, being most unfit to live, we have made you mad. And even with such like valor, men hang and drown their proper selves.
Oh, you fools! I and my fellows are ministers of fate. The elements of whom your swords are tempered may as well wound the loud winds, or wisp bemuck that stabs, kill the still closing waters, as diminish one dow that's in my plume. My fellow ministers and I are like invulnerable.
If you could hurt, your swords are now too massy for your strengths and will not be uplifted.
But remember, for that's my business to you, that you three from Milan did supplant good Prospero, exposed unto the sea that hath requited him and his innocent child for which foul deed.
The powers delaying, not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores, yea, all the creatures against your peace.
Thee of thy son, Alonso, they have bereft, and do pronounce by me lingering perdition, worse than any death, can be at once shall step by step step attend you and your ways.
In the name of something holy, sir, why stand you in this strange stare?
Oh, it is monstrous, monstrous. Methought the billows spoke and told me of it. The winds did sing at me, and the thunder that deep in dreadful organ pipe pronounced the name of Prosper. It did base my trespass. Therefore, my son in the ooze is bedded, and I'll seek him deeper than e'er plummet sounded, and with him there lie mullet.
But one fiend at a time, I'll fight their legion o'er.
I'll be thy second.
All three of them are desperate. Their great guilt, like poison given to work a great time after, now begins to bite the spirits. I'll follow them swiftly and hinder them from what this ecstasy may provoke them to.
Bravely hast thou performed, mine Ariel. And these mine enemies are all knit up in their distractions. They now are in my power. And in these fits, I'll leave them while I visit young Ferdinand, whom they suppose is drowned, and his and mine loved darling. If I have too austerely punished you, your compensation makes amends, for I have given you that for which I live. All thy vexations were but my trials of thy love, and thou hast strangely stood the test here for heaven. Ferdinand, do not smile at me that I boast her off, for thou shalt find she will outstrip all praise.
I do believe it, against an oracle.
Then, as my gift, and thine own acquisition worthily purchased, take my daughter. She is thine own. Well, now come, my industrious servant Ariel, come.
What would you, potent master? Here we are.
Here we are.
Thou thy last service did worthily perform, but I must use you in such another trick, for I must bestow upon the eyes of this young couple some vanity of mine art, and they expect it from me.
Presently?
Aye, with a twink. Well, now, come, my Ariel, appear, and pertly, no tongue, all eyes, be silent.
A contract of true love to celebrate, and some donation freely to estate on the blessed lovers.
This is a most majestic vision, and harmoniously charmingly. May I be bold to think these spirits?
Spirits, which by mine art I have from their confines called to enact my present fancies.
Let me live here, ever. So rare, a wondered father and a wife makes this place paradise.
Well done. Avoid no more. I had forgot the foul conspiracy, the beast Caliban and his confederates against my life. The minute of their plot is almost come.
This is strange. Your father's in some passion that worries him strongly.
Never till this day saw I him in anger so distempered.
You do look, my son, in a moved sort. Be cheerful, sir, and think of all things well. These are actors, as I foretold, were all spirits and are melted into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the great globe itself, ye all which it inherit, shall dissolve. And like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Sir, I am vexed. Be not disturbed by my infirmity. A turn or two I'll walk to still my beating mind.
We wish your peace.
Come. With a thought, I thank thee, Ariel. Come.
Thy thoughts we cleave to.
It's thy pleasure.
Spirit, we must prepare to meet with Caliban. Say again, where didst thou leave these varlets?
I told you, sir, they were red hot with drinking, so full of valor that they smote the air for breathing on their faces, beat the ground for kissing of their feet, yet always bending towards their projects.
Then I beat my tabor, at which like unbacked colts they pricked their ears, advanced their eyelids, lifted up their noses as they smelt music.
So I charmed their ears, that calf-like they my lowing followed through toothed briars, sharp furzes, pricking ghosts and thorns, which entered their frail shins.
At last I left them in the filthy mantled pool beyond your cell. They are dancing up to their chins, that the foul lake o'erstunk their feet.
This was well done, my bird. Thy shape invisible retain thou still. Go, bring the thieves hither.
We go.
Oh, we go.
A devil, a born devil, on whose nature nurture can never stick, on whom my pains, humanely taken, all quite lost. And as with age his body uglier grows, so his mind cankers. I will plague them all.
You tread softly, that the blind mole may not hear a footfall. We are now near his cell.
Monster, your fairy, which you say is a harmless fairy, has done little better than play the jack with us.
Good, my lord. Give me thy favor still. Huh? Be patient. For the prize I'll bring thee to shall hoodwink this mischance. Therefore, speak softly. All's hushed as midnight yet.
Aye, but to lose our bottles in the pool.
Well, there's not only disgrace and dishonor in that monster, but an infinite loss.
Prithee, my king, be quiet. Seest thou here? This is the mouth of the cell. Do that good mischief which will make this island thine forever, and I thy Caliban, for I thy foot licker.
Oh, give me thy hand. I do begin to have bloody thoughts.
Oh, King Stefano. Oh, Pierre. Oh, worthy Stefano.
Hurry there, tyrant. Hark! Hark! They roar! Let them be hunted soundly! At this hour, lie at my mercy all mine enemies. They now are in my power. Now does my project gather to a head. Shortly shalt thou have the air at freedom. For a little follow, and do me service. Say, spirit, how fares the king and his followers?
Confined together.
In the same fashion as you gave your charge, just as you left them, all prisoners, sir, in the lime grove which weather fends your cell. They cannot budge till your release.
The king, his sister, and yours abide all three distracted, and the remainder mourning over them, brimful of sorrow and dismay.
But chiefly him that you term, sir, the good old Lord Gonzalo. His tears run down his beard like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. Your charm so strongly works him that if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender.
Dost thou think so?
Mine would, sir, were I human.
And mine shall. They being penitent, the sole drift of my purpose doth extend not a frown further. Go, release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves.
I'll fetch them, sir.
Graves, at my command have waked their sleepers by my so potent art, but this rough magic I'll here abjure, and when I've worked mine end upon their senses, I'll break my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book. There, stand! Now the spell stopped. Oh, good Gonzalo, my true preserver, and a loyal sir to him thou followest. I shall pay thy graces home both in word and deed. Most cruelly didst thou, Alonso, use me and my daughter. Thy sister Sebastia was a furtherer in this act. And you, my sister, that entertained ambition, expelled remorse and nature, who with Sebastia would here have killed your king. I do forgive thee. Unnatural though thou art, not one of them that yet looks on me or would know me, Ariel. Fetch me the cloak there in my cell. I will discase me. Quickly, spirit, thou shalt ere long be free.
Where the bee sucks, there sucks I. On a cowslip's bell I lie. There I couch where owls do cry. On the bat's back I do fly. After summer merrily, merrily, merrily shall I live now under the blossom that hangs from the bough.
Well, that's my dainty Ariel. I shall miss thee, but yet thou shalt have freedom. To the king's ship, invisible as thou art, there shalt thou find a mariner asleep under the hatches, and force him to this place. And presently, I prithee.
I drink the air before me and return, or else your pulse twice beat.
So.
All torment, trouble, wonder, and amazement inhabits here. Oh, some heavenly power, guide us out of this fearful country.
Behold, Sir King, the wronged Duke of Milan, Prospero. for more assurance that a living prince does speak to thee, I embrace thy body.
Whether thou beest he or no, or some enchanted trifle to abuse me, as late I have been, I not know. Thy pulse beats as of flesh and blood, and since I saw thee, the affliction of my mind amends, with which I fear a madness held me. This must crave, and if this be at all, a most strange story. Thy dukedom I resign, and do entreat thou pardon me my wrong. But how should Prospero be living and be here?
First, noble friend, let me embrace thine age, whose honor cannot be measured or confined.
Whether this be or be not, I'll not swear.
You do yet taste some subtleties of the isle, will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends all. But you, my brace of lords, were I so minded, I here could justify you traitors. At this time, I will tell no tales.
The devil speaks in him.
No. And you, most wicked sight, whom to call sister would even infect my mouth. I do forgive thee thy rankest fault, and require my dukedom of thee.
If thou beest Prospero, give us particulars of thy preservation, how thou hast met us here, who 3 hours since were wrecked upon this shore, where I lost. How sharp the point of remembrance is, my dear son Ferdinand.
I am woe for it, sir, for I have lost my daughter.
A daughter. Oh, heavens, that they were living both in Naples, the king and queen there. That they were, I wish myself were mudded in that oozy bed where my son lies. When did you lose your daughter?
In this last tempest. I do perceive these lords scarce believe their eyes do officers of truth, but howsoe'er you have been justled from your senses, know this, that I am Prospero, and that very duke which was thrust forth of Milan. My dukedom, since you have given me again, I will requite you with as good a thing, at least bring forth a wonder to content ye as much as me, my dukedom.
Sweet Lord, you play me false.
No, my dearest love, not for the world.
Yes, for a score of kingdoms you should wrangle, and I would call it fair play.
Prove a vision of the island, one dear son shall I twice lose.
Most high miracle.
Though the sea threatens, they are merciful. I have cursed them without cause.
Now, all the blessings of a glad father compass thee about. Arise, and say how thou camest here.
Oh, wonder! How many goodly creatures are there here! How beauteous mankind is! Oh, brave new world that has such people in't.
'Tis new to thee.
Why is this maid with whom thou wast at play? Your eldest acquaintance cannot be 3 hours. Is she the goddess that hath severed us and brought us thus together?
Sir, she is mortal, but by a mortal providence. She's mine. I chose her when I could not ask my father for his advice, nor thought I had one. She is daughter to this famous Duke of Milan, of whom so often I have heard renown, but never saw before, of whom I have received a second life, and second father, this lady makes him to me.
Oh, how oddly will it sound that I must ask my child forgiveness.
Let us not burden our remembrance with a heaviness that's gone.
I have inly wept, or should have spoke ere thus. Look down, you God, and on this couple drop a blessed crown. For it is you that have chalked forth the way and brought us hither.
I say amen, Gonzalo. Give me your hands. Let grief and sorrow still embrace his heart that doth not wish you joy.
Be it so, amen. Oh, look, sir. Look, sir, there's more of us. What is the news?
The best news is that we've safely found our king and company. The next, our ship, which but 3 glasses since we gave out split, is tight and yar and bravely rigged as when we first put out to sea.
Sir, all his service have we done since we went?
My tricksy spirit.
Hast well done?
Bravely, my diligence, thou shalt be free.
Verily, then, sir, and ready our ship. This is as strange a maze as airmen trod. And there is in this business more than nature was ever conduct of. Some oracle must rectify our knowledge.
Sir, my liege, do not infest your mind with beating on the strangeness of this business. Be cheerful and think of all things well. Come hither, spirits. Set Caliban and his companions free. Untie the spell. How fares my gracious lord? There are yet missing from your company some 2 odd lads that you remember not.
Every man shift for all the rest, and let no man take care for himself. But for all is battle fortune. Coraggio, holy monster! Coraggio!
These be true spies which I wear in my head. Here's a goodly sight.
Oh, Setavos! These be fine spirits indeed. How fine my master is! I am afraid he will chastise me.
What things are these, my lady Antonia? Will money buy 'em?
Very like. One of them is a plain fish, and no doubt marketable.
This misshapen knave, his mother was a witch, and one so strong that could control the moon. These 3 have plotted to take my life. 2 of these fellows you must know and own. This thing of nightmares acknowledge mine.
I shall be pinched to death.
Is not this Stefano, my drunken butler?
He is drunk now. Where had he wine?
And Trinculo, both reeling ripe. Where should they find this grand liquor that hath gilded them? How camest thou in this pickle?
I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last that I fear will never out of my bones. I shall not fear fly blowing.
Why, how now, Stefano?
Oh, touch me not. I am not Stefano, but a cramp.
Be king of the isle, Sirrah?
I should have been a sore one then.
This is as strange a thing as e'er I looked on.
Is as disproportioned in his manners as in his shape. Go, Sirrah, to my cell. Take with you your companions as you look to have my pardon. Trim it handsomely.
I will. And I will be wise hereafter and seek for grace. What a thrice doubled ass was I to take this drunkard for a god and worship this dull fool.
Go to, away. Sir, I invite your highness and your train to my poor cell, where you shall take your rest for this one night. And in the morn I'll bring you to your ship, and so to Naples, where I have hoped to see the nuptial of these our dear beloved solemnized, and thence return me to my Milan, where every 3rd thought shall be my grave.
I long to hear the story of your life, which must take the ear strangely.
I'll deliver all, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sail so expeditious that shall catch your royal fleet far off. Ariel, That is thy charge. Then to the elements. Be free, and fare thou well. Pray you, draw near. Now my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I house mine own, which is most faint. Now 'tis true, I must be here, confined by you, or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardoned the deceivers, dwell in this bare island by your spell, but release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. And my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer. As you from crimes would pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free.